What do we got? 29 degrees at 8:10. Good morning to you and happy Friday. And boy, do we have a happy day here at the radio station because I've got company in the studio, both the human kind and the canine kind. Are you a dog person? If so, well, this is for you. First, I have to introduce the human. Carl Roth is here from Puppies Behind Bars. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Kate. Thank you for having us.
Oh, we're delighted. Carl and I met when we both took the Maple Sugar Tour at Hudson Highlands Nature Museum, and he had a guest with him then. He had one of the puppies. That one was Celeste. And today he brought Celeste's littermate, her brother, Zeus. Zeus is conked out on the floor right now, so we're not going to ask Zeus to take a microphone. But Puppies Behind Bars. Would you like to give people, Carl, a quick explanation of what we're talking about?
Sure, Kate. Thank you. Puppies Behind Bars is a nonprofit organization which trains prison inmates to raise puppies to become service dogs for disabled veterans and explosive detection canines for law enforcement.
That's huge. That is just huge because what you do is you change the life of the person who's going to get the dog, somebody who needs a dog as a service animal, but also for the up to 2 years' time as the puppy grows up, you change the life of someone who's incarcerated because they have to learn to think outside of themselves, maybe for the first time in their life, and take care of an animal and teach it. And I think the two of them probably grow together to a great extent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have our own breeding program, so we breed all of our dogs, and our dogs enter the prison at 8 weeks of age, and then they're placed with an incarcerated individual, and the dog lives in the cell with them, goes to all of their programs with them, goes everywhere that they go. Myself or one of my assistant instructors is in the prison 1 day a week doing a full day of dog training classes, and so they train and work the dog right from puppyhood, 8 weeks, all the way until about 2 years until the dog's ready to graduate. And it's really life-changing. I've had people that have joined my program, and first of all, it's a tough screening process. They have to go through a lot of hoops to get into the program.
Yes, you were telling me when we first met that it's not a case of someone who's incarcerated saying, hey, give me one of those dogs.
Right. There's a lot of work. Puppies Behind Bars is not a bunch of bleeding hearts. This is serious work, and we're doing serious dog training. And so the incarcerated need to apply for our program, and then they go through a rigorous screening process. And then when they start the program, then they have 6 to 8 months of bookwork, study, training, and classes. They learn basic veterinary care, canine ethology, canine learning theory, and a lot goes into it. And then after the 8 months of study and work, then they earn their first puppy.
Zeus is pulling Carl away from the microphone just a little bit. He's woken up, and now he wants to meet the rest of the wall radio personnel here.
He's a funny dog. Zeus is just 6 months, so we expect this from Zeus.
Yes, well, that's what you had told us on the Maple Sugar Tour when we met Celeste, that at 6 months old. But, you think about it, the people who have been raising these puppies in these prisons, they take them on at 8 months, like right from mom, right? Right from their mothers.
They're 8 weeks old, right?
They have to teach them, they have to housebreak them and teach them sit, speak, shake hands, and so much more. How many commands do they learn through here?
The service dogs that will go to veterans and first responders, those dogs learn about 60 commands, and our explosive detection canines learn about 20 commands. And the reason it's such a big difference, an explosive detection canine uses their nose. It's very natural for a dog, for their scent work, for things that a bomb sniffer will do. And so we don't want to overtrain them and have them become what we call handler dependent. We want them to be independent because that dog is going to be working ahead of the handler, pulling slightly, and will tell us where the bombs are. Whereas a service dog, you tell what to do. So we want him doing very handler dependent, looking at the handler often and saying, what can I do for you? So it's a different type of dog.
Okay. Now, for, say, someone who's wheelchair bound and they have one of these dogs, the dog can turn on lights for them.
Sure.
And what kind of commands, what kind of things can they do?
It's actually really cool. It's very high-end dog training.
Yeah.
Anyone that's in our program then will earn certificate, and they are, when they get out of prison, they are a dog trainer. And so the dogs that work with the disabled open and close doors, turn light switches on and off, retrieve items that are dropped. A big thing for veterans with PTSD is we do a nightmare wake up, where if they're having a nightmare, the dog will flip on the lights to the room and pull the blankets off of them.
Oh,
And will bring them out of their nightmare. And that's very useful. Veterans with PTSD, nightmares is a huge thing. And so having the dog there enables them to not then be fearful of having the nightmare and worried about what's going to happen in the night, because they know they have their backup buddy, their dog, that will watch their back and keep them safe.
and they also have somebody to cuddle.
Absolutely.
Anytime,
Absolutely.
as does the person in prison who's raising the animal. Just having somebody to hug, somebody to lick your face. I mean, a critter to lick your face.
Right.
I wouldn't want
Right.
another person to be
Yep.
doing a
Yep.
whole lot of that, but that changes everything for everybody.
It truly does. As I've been doing this for 22 years, and I've worked with many incarcerated who have come in, who have had long sentences, and come in and they're very stoic and almost robot-like. Because prison, it is that. Prison, you can become very
You
institutionalized
put on
very
armor.
quickly.
I can
Absolutely.
picture that.
And you
Yeah.
don't, and especially the men's facilities, you don't want to show any weakness. So you put all these walls up around, and the puppies shatter that. They break it through. So I have guys that are very stoic, very robot-like in the beginning, and by the time they have a puppy and they've earned their first puppy, they're human again. And so many times I've placed a puppy in an incarcerated's arms, and they start to cry.
Well, sure, I would too. Yeah. And now, the hardest thing would be saying goodbye after you've raised and loved and taught this animal for a couple of years. Is an incarcerated person entitled to start over again with a new pup?
Okay, so yes, and so to your first point, it's really hard. It's bittersweet though. They know that the dog will not be theirs, and he's going on to serve a greater purpose.
Sure.
And so that's all
Yes.
part of the training before they get the dog, so everyone understands and realizes that. And thinking about that bond and that relationship that they have with that dog over the course of the 1 to 2 years that they're working with the dog, it's their best friend, goes everywhere with them.
Yeah.
And then they give that dog away to someone that they'll never meet and they'll never know and they'll never see them again. It's really an extraordinary gift of love.
Yes.
It's incredible. And so that's a bittersweet day. They cry. Sure, they cry. They're really upset. But they've done something. We show them the way, but they do the work. And for many of them, as you said, it's the first time in their lives they've done something good and they've done something selfless. This is a volunteer program. They don't get paid for it. It doesn't give them better housing unit or better food or anything. This is volunteer, and they choose to do it. And for those incarcerated who choose to do it, it's incredibly rewarding and life-changing.
You gave me a booklet with a whole bunch of information about it when we first met, and there was a handwritten letter in there from one of the puppy raisers who said that it even helped him form a better relationship with his own son,
Yes.
because he was able to look at him differently and realize that he was dependent on dad, and that he as the adult had to act right, and it changed everything for the human side. And that was lovely. I want to hear some more, especially I want to hear about how we in the community can help you, but we need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Carl Rothe is here along with Zeus the dog from Puppies Behind Bars on Wall Radio. It's 8:21 at Wall Radio, 29 degrees. With me in the studio from Puppies Behind Bars is Carl Rothe and Zeus. Zeus has explored the radio station pretty thoroughly by now and has behaved very well. But Zeus is only 6 months old, right?
Yes, he's 6 months old, and he's in training to become an explosive detection canine.
Ooh, so he's got a super nose there, and it's just going to get trained better. Now, why? I see in all of the pictures, all of the dogs are Labradors. How come?
We work exclusively with Labrador Retrievers. We have our own breeding program, and Labrador Retrievers are used for service dogs, guide dogs, and working dogs for a number of reasons. Just some things about the breed. It's a very healthy breed. It's a breed that's very easy to have. Coat maintenance is very easy. Give them 3 or 4 baths a year, they're good to go. So genetically, they're very healthy, they're sound, and they're also what we call biddable, which means they want to train. When I did my first dog training class years ago, when I had my own first puppy as an adult, I had my first dog, Jonathan, who was a yellow Labrador retriever, and there were 15 other puppies, and people were trying steak and all different kinds of things left over from dinner last night to motivate the dogs to sit and to down and to do things. I brought in frozen peas and worked with Jonathan, and he would do. Everyone hated me. It was total ego. I was showing off, but he did everything on command. And people were saying with the dachshunds and some of the terriers, and going, "Oh, we should have got a Labrador Retriever." So they just want to learn. There's such that strong human-animal bond with Labradors, and so it's easy to teach someone something if they want to learn.
Sure.
And that's why we use Labrador Retrievers.
Okay, that makes sense. I had a dog once that I taught to count to 5. That was the smartest dog I ever had, part border collie.
Very cool.
But they shed a lot. And my husky now, she could shed in the Olympics. But you had said that there is a way that the community can help you. You have an active need. Can you describe that for us,
We
please?
do, Kate. Thank you. So Puppies Behind Bars, as we had said, the dogs enter the prison at 8 weeks, and they stay there and train. They also need outside experiences, and it can be simple things that prisons just don't have, like walking on carpeting, seeing yourself in a mirror, going for a car ride, seeing children, seeing older people, seeing someone in a wheelchair. And the dogs need exposure to that from a very early age and on a regular basis, so that therefore they're well socialized and confident so they can perform all these great commands and tasks that we teach them out in the community when they graduate. So we're looking for volunteer puppy sitters. These are people that we will train. There's a 4-hour training class, 2 hours, 2 nights. And we'll train them how to work with the dogs. And then they make appointments as their schedule whenever that they want to take a dog out for a few hours or for a few days. They would go to the prison. They need to live within an hour of one of the correctional facilities in which we operate. They would go to the prison. They would wait in the lobby. They'd bring the dog out to them, and then they take the dog. And it's kind of like rent a dog. It's really a great way to get your dog fixed.
It's kind of like a weekend at Grandma's house.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's great fun. And it's really great for people, someone that maybe recently lost their dog and misses their dog but aren't ready to get their own full-time dog yet. Or if someone that has a friend or family member that they live with dog allergies, or has an apartment they can't have a dog, so they can borrow a dog, a very beautiful, well-trained Labrador Retriever puppy. He'll be in jacket, so you can take him to stores and to the mall and to a restaurant, and then you bring him back at the end of the day or after a couple of days. So it's really a fun thing for our volunteers, and it's invaluable to our puppies. Our puppies absolutely need that socialization.
So you need grandmas and grandpas, friends of puppies, or whatever puppy sitters.
Yes.
You need people to take a dog just for a few hours, or maybe a weekend, a few days,
Right.
on a regular basis, just to play with them. You don't have to, they would already be house trained, and they know, some basic commands.
Right.
But you just need to play with them and bring them places.
Absolutely. I'm not looking for dog trainers. We have the dog trainers in the facility. It's rent a dog. Just
You're looking for somebody to love them and take them places and show them a good time. Kind of like if you've ever wanted to foster a dog, but you don't really have the time. Well, you'd have time for this.
Right, because it goes by your schedule. So 7 days a week, any day. It needs to be done in advance. So we need to put your request in a week in advance after you're trained. And then you just go to the prison, pick up the dog, and bring them back at the time slot you're supposed to.
Which prisons are we talking about?
So we're in 6 correctional facilities. We're in Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, Fishkill Correctional Facility, Walk Hill Correctional Facility, Otisville, Eastern Correctional Facility, and we've just opened our newest facility, which is Greenhaven Correctional Facility.
Okay. So if you're within an hour, and most people who are listening to us would be, within an hour, and you can make the drive. You don't have to wander through the cells to get the dog.
Not at all.
You would wait. Someone would bring the dog to you, and then you bring it back to that same spot. And you do provide training and anything that probably you would ask the people to provide their own milk bones.
Well, they don't get any treats. Our dogs, everything.
No?
Puppies Behind
Oh,
Bars is all about rules. So there's no
okay.
treats. It's only their food, but we do send out their food, which is
Well,
pre-measured.
see,
So yeah, we just
they need
looking for people who
to play
have
with the dogs.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
doesn't this sound like something you can do? I'm looking at you right now. I'm pointing, not at Carl. I'm pointing at you. You could do this. How do they contact you?
It's our website is puppiesbehindbars.com. And so we've got applications for volunteering and also for release dogs. And we occasionally have a dog that doesn't quite work out, doesn't really want to become a working dog. It's rare, but we do have some. And so there's a release dog applications for veterans. If they're looking for a service dog, if a service dog would help them in their recovery. And so we've got a pretty complete website. It's we just had it redone, and it's very nice. So please
Yes,
check
I'm
out the
looking at
website.
it. I'm looking at it now. It does show the addresses of the different facilities where you work, and there's a top bar that says volunteer, adopt, lots of information, programs and applications. So, yes, it's very thorough. Please consider becoming a volunteer puppy lover. That's the new title I'm going to give it. Be a puppy lover just for a couple hours here and there, but you'll make a difference to the puppy, to yourself, to the inmate who's been helping to raise it, and to the eventual permanent owner of that dog. Wow, what a lot you can do just by hugging a dog. Who knew?
It is. It's great.
Oh, Carl, thank you for all the work you do. Any parting words that you want to just let people know about?
Well, just thank everyone for listening, and definitely please check out our website and learn more about Puppies Behind Bars. And I'd also just add that we're a nonprofit organization, so we don't accept any government funds. So
Oh,
we're also looking for donations. If anyone would like to contribute, maybe they don't have extra time in their hands, but they would like to make a donation, we will certainly accept that. We're privately funded, and we don't accept any government funds, and we don't cost the facilities in which we operate any payer dollars at all either.
actually, I saw when I was looking for your website before, I saw a note where someone asked, is Puppies Behind Bars a good charity? And the answer was this charity's score, according to charitynavigator.org, is 100%, and you have a 4-star rating.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
we've had it for many years. We're very proud of that.
Thank you. Keep up all of this work. And I do hope that people are going to be calling and looking on the website, puppiesbehindbars.org. No,
No,
.com.
Yep.
Sorry about that. I was just looking at the .org here. Puppiesbehindbars.com. Bring home a puppy and just rent a puppy for a few hours. It will make a difference to so many people. Thank you, Carl, for coming on Wall today.
Thank you, Kate.
Come back. Let's do this again. Zeus, you're a good boy. Wall Radio, it's 8:29. Call it 8:30. Time for a news update.